because I feel all the climate crisis problems that's here right now, the solution for those actually is already there in nature. So the minute we look into the nature, we go back to nature, all our problems will be solved, and that was the inspiration for the name as well.
Welcome to this special podcast series on Impact Talk in collaboration with Advanced Media, stories of UAE's purpose-driven entrepreneurs. In this series, we'll explore the incredible stories of 5 women's entrepreneurs and how they are creating an impact in the UAE. Today, I'm delighted to introduce Ranjitha Raghavan. She's the founder of Back to Nature, a UAE-based company specializing in the production and distribution of compostable food service packaging containers. Ranjitha, welcome to Impact Talk. How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me, Nadine.
Thank you for coming. So, I really want to start the conversation by learning more about your own story and background. I know that you were an engineer before starting your venture, Back to Nature. By the way, I love the name, Back to Nature.
Thank you so much.
So can you take us through this journey and how you came into sustainability and starting, Back to Nature?
Yep. That's a very frequently asked question, but I love saying the story. So I want to give you a bit of background from where I came into this business. So coming from India, Kerala, we as a family, we used to have a much zero waste lifestyle there. And we used to literally have whatever garbage we used to just dispose it off in our backyard, and it would just go with the soil. And coming back to UAE later on and living here, we started realizing there's a lot of waste that gets accumulated in our garbage. And over time, we started hearing about a lot of concept of recycling, and we used to do as a family, segregating our paper, plastic, and making sure it goes to the right bins and stuff like that. And fast forward to 5 years back, we were having this busy life. Everybody's in their own, work life. And the only time we get to actually see each other and have a dinner together is on the weekends. And what we do after the tired working week, we just order food and have a, meal at the table all together. And what we used to have frequently a discussion at our dinner table was that we used to have a lot of these plastic containers. The food is coming packed in. And we were like, oh my God, there's so much of plastic in this. And we were like, okay, we can try and reuse it. That's what best we could do. Because after we use the packaging, we're just disposing it off again. And then we have this pile of plastic containers to throw away. And one such dinner, one of my family member from India, he came to the dinner and he was like, but in India, it's much more advanced. They're already talking about plastic ban there, especially single-use plastic. And they've already started using plant-based containers and plates, especially made from sugarcane pulp. And that got me interested into it. And he was like, he can connect me with somebody who is actually very passionate and has been doing and producing these plates in India. And I think that's where my journey started. I never looked back after that. It really got me excited. One after the other, it got me introduced to the amount of plastic pollution that was happening, starting from, the Pacific garbage patch to all the, beaches that's really polluted with single-use plastic. And, of course, the issue of actually the plastic getting into our blood because of microplastics. And, every topic that I researched and I came across, and I spoke to a lot of thought leaders back in India, I just felt like this is something that really need attention here in this part of the world, and not many people know about it. And yeah, I guess that's where it all began. And then, of course, with the passionate R&D development teams around the world who I got in touch with, they were all ready to support and bring in those products here and make it available. And that gave me inspiration to start this business. And the name Back to Nature came from that, because I feel all the climate crisis problems that's here right now, the solution for those actually is already there in nature. So the minute we look into the nature, we go back to nature, all our problems will be solved. And that was the inspiration for the name as well.
That's beautifully said. I totally agree with you.
Thanks.
So, but you were not in sustainability before,
Yes.
starting back to nature.
Yeah.
You were doing something completely different. So, what was the trigger to, jump into solutions to, our most pressing issues in the world right now, and taking the leap of entrepreneurship? Because for me, like, it's two steps.
Correct.
Kind of.
It was completely different, totally unplanned. I never thought I would be doing this. But I guess I'm an electronics engineer. I was into doing CCTV projects, so installing CCTV in different corporates, education institutes, doing amazingly well. I used to love what I'm doing. But it was a race from one project after the another. And I just, over time, I felt like I'm not finding a meaning to it. And I was already at that point where I was like, what am I doing? And that's when I came across this concept. And like I said, when I started researching about it, it just felt so right for me. And I felt like not many people know about it. And everybody thinks like, this is not something for me to do. Somebody else will take care of it. And I felt like really connected to the cause, and that somebody has to take responsibility for it. And why not me? Why can't I do something about it if I have the power and passion for it? And I mean, I think that's why I even put the tagline for the company, being responsible, because I came from completely different background from what I'm doing right now. But I felt like if I feel everybody has that, sense of responsibility in them, and you can do anything. And it's just about that willingness, that responsibility. And I guess once I started doing it, I really didn't miss what I'm doing. I was doing before. I just felt so connected and so much to learn, so much to grow. And the kind of strength I received from my family, from my friends, and from other business owners, appreciating what I do, that really helps me going as well. So a lot of awareness I'm able to do. So it's really purpose-oriented business also. It's just not a business at the end of the day. It becomes more of a passion-based. So it's nice to integrate both of that.
Well, it's amazing. This is how, magic happens.
Yes.
Talking about purpose, what's the purpose and mission of Back to Nature?
Well, it all started with empowering brands to quit single-use plastic. That is how it started, because I started reading about all the, issues that's happening because of single-use plastic. Plastic is an amazing product. I would never call it, like some people, try and portray it as the villain. But if it is used in the right applications, it's amazing. I mean, use it for a longer term, because you cannot live without plastic. But in applications where plastic is not really necessary, there are other alternatives. So why not switch to that? That was the whole idea. When there are products which are available, why not make use of it? Why not empower brands to make that switch, make that transition? So that's our goal, that's our mission. We want to try and replace single-use plastic wherever possible, whether it is in the food service industry. So restaurants, caterers, they use a lot of plastic packaging in their deliveries. And in this part of the world, we have a lot of delivery concept here where food is getting delivered to your homes, to your offices, for events. So there's a lot of plastic that gets, ended up in landfill because of that. Recycling is a big challenge even after now. After so many years of plastic being in this world, recycling happened like less than 10% even now. So people usually think like, that's what even me as initially used to think, like, I recycle my plastic, I'm done, right? But unfortunately, that's not enough. So we need to make that replacement. And as Back to Nature, we want to, inspire businesses, especially in food service industry. And now we are also trying to help corporates with other products like eco-friendly stationery, eco-friendly reusable bags. So wherever we as a company can introduce amazing products that are true to the nature, we want to, help those businesses transition. That's basically our mission. And we keep introducing plant-based products. So it's not really, that's very important for us, that it's not really, harmful for the environment. That's very important. And that even the process, starting how it's producing and to how it ends up. Both has to be very safe for the environment. So we try and keep bringing products that are true for the nature and help businesses transition into them. Yeah.
And you worked a lot on, research and development because you are manufacturing and distributing the products, which, is not the easy path for such a business.
Yes.
So can you tell us more about that? I guess, it was like many years of, research and before, jumping into creating back to nature.
Yes. Well, initially when we started, we were completely relying on the R&D that's happening outside of UAE. So initially we were bringing those products from outside and distributing it here. But we started in 2019, and around 2020, when COVID happened, the business sort of went on a slow pace because nothing was really happening as such. We were not allowed to meet people. So there's not much that we could do. And that was when I was really, looking in this direction of how about we produce things here. Of course, besides the fact that we can actually reduce the carbon footprint by, doing a lot of transportations from outside, it also helps businesses to not depend entirely on outside on such events that happen. We can actually make things more accessible to people here. So we did a lot of R&D, again, of course, with the technology that's already available in the world. It's just that people don't get it here, that risk is not taken. So one such product that I found is really useful is a replacement for single-use plastic bags, which is like made from tapioca starch. So there's a family of tapioca called cassava, and it's really good and stretchy and can be easily made into fillets. So we brought in that technology here, we did the trials, we made sure that the bag is a real good replacement for plastic bags. And I guess we had, as a company, had a good support from a lot of investors who were excited by this idea. So that helped us to set up the manufacturing here after almost 2 years of, lot of rigorous discussions, how to execute it. And now, the dream has come true here, and it's made possible to be here.
That's amazing, because it must have been really hard actually to set up, the factory. So all the products now are manufactured in the UAE, or do you still rely?
Yeah, we still do, unfortunately, have to. I wouldn't say unfortunately, but yes, there's a lot of technology still yet to come here, and it has to be in phases. It has to be in a slow pace as the region becomes more and more ready for this. So with COP28 coming up, a lot of businesses are realizing that they have to make this shift. So that makes easier for businesses like us to bring in those productions here locally. So we've started off with a couple of products here. We are looking to expand more by end of the year. And hopefully by next year, we can bring more products. So it's going to be in phases, but we want to bring as many products as possible to be made here in UAE. That's the idea. So we have, a team that is completely expertise in setting up these manufacturing facilities. That helps me as a business owner to make sure that the technology is ready, the R&D is available. It's just about implementing it and businesses taking that ownership to start utilizing the product. So we are here to service them.
That's amazing. So you're alone, Ranjitha? You don't have a co-founder?
So we started this company as a family business. Okay. Me and my sister started this one. And of course, she was more of a moral support and a family support. It was
very important.
Yes, that is very important. And that really helped me navigate even the tougher times like pandemic, when most of my friends and, people I knew were like, I think this is not the right time for you. You should probably stop. But, having that, strong support really helped me raise funds for the company, find some good investors. So we have other partners also in the business right now who's helping me with the installation of these production facilities, making sure that the quality and the execution is happening as needed by the, for the products. So, now the company is growing in that sense.
How many people in the company now?
We have about 20 plus people, yeah.
Wow. So you just said that you started in 2019,
Yes.
like right before the pandemic. So, I mean, I can just imagine how challenging it has been for you. But, if you look back at, your journey and what happened from Back to Nature, what did you learn so far?
Um, Initially, when we started, one of the inspiration also, I have to say, was that the Expo 2020 that was going to happen next year was going to be all, free from single-use plastic. So that was also one of the inspiration. I'm like, this country is ready. But of course, then pandemic happened, Expo got postponed. So then, like you said, everybody was like, this is not the right time and stuff. But what I've realized is that I stayed persistent with this vision of me having Back to Nature, bringing products for food service industry. And I realized once the awareness is built up, people are actually excited and even okay to pay a little bit premium, because they also wanted to be associated with this concept of sustainability, that trying to do something good for the environment, trying to do something good for your customers. So I think awareness was something that was really lacking, and I realized the importance of awareness. And even for me, I was not aware of all these challenges that's happening. So I think I realized that I have to be consistent with my creating awareness. So we started being a lot on social media, on digital platforms, trying to, have wherever the platforms are available to communicate these things. And that has really helped. And now I get sometimes calls from food business owners saying that now my customers are not accepting plastic packaging. So can you guys help me? I'm like, I'm so happy to hear this. So awareness is something really important for this cause to keep moving, and the momentum of these events like Expo being, trying to reduce single-use plastic, COP20, this is also helping. So we need to keep having these events, amazing opportunities like this, this podcast where people keep knowing and hearing about the challenges, why it's important. And I think everybody will then be inspired to do what they need to do. Yeah.
100%. And I like that you talked about Expo and COP28, because there is a lot happening right now in the UAE and the whole region, which is like truly amazing. So how do you envision the future for your business?
So there are some good policies that I feel, excited about, that UAE is trying to implement over the upcoming years. Definitely they're talking about banning single-use plastic bag itself. That's a very good initiative, because there is an alternative. It's just about implementing it. And then, of course, they're also planning to ban disposables made out of plastic and styrofoams by 2026. That's also something really, pushing the business owners to make that shift. What I encourage them is to not wait till 2026, but, start doing the transition now itself. So I see that the movement is happening. Like I said, customers are asking the business owners, so that's a good initiative. A lot of hotels we work with, they are taking initiatives now itself, even though it's not a mandate, which is nice to hear. So it's really inspiring. It's really motivating for us to keep going, us to keep introducing products that are sustainable and eco-friendly.
Yeah, it's an amazing time to be in this business and making an impact.
Yes.
Who are your clients?
So hotels mainly. Then we also have restaurants and caterers. A lot of meal plan companies. They deliver food on a daily basis, making people's lives easier, without cooking or, giving the right nutritional diets. So they're, a very good client of ours, because they deliver a lot of meals, maybe sometimes like 3 meals a day. And then over 1 month, the amount of disposables being used is like a lot. So they are our clients as well. We're also like working now with corporates where we can provide them with stationeries that are eco-friendly, bags that are eco-friendly for their gifting, gifting applications. So primarily, we used to be only focused on food service industry. Now we are also looking at retail outlets for their bags, or the retail POS stations. So we are expanding in retail and corporate as well at the moment. Yeah.
Amazing. And do you work with businesses only in the UAE, or are you expanding to the whole MENA region?
Yeah. Because once we started the production here, that really helped us to be much more effective for businesses in the region to, import from here. So we've started already with a distribution in Saudi, in Bahrain and Qatar. So we have distributors there who's taking the products that we manufacture already. And we are looking to expand to other GCC countries, hopefully in Europe and maybe MENA region. Yeah, I mean, there's no limit. Whoever wants to take the products from us, we are there. And we are looking to expand, yes.
Yeah, and that's the power of, I think it's so, smart and, amazing that you spend the energy to set up, the manufacturing and the factory here in the region, because, now it's kind of, must have been a hard journey. It must not have been so easy, I imagine, but now you can really kind of expand and...
Yes. Being a central location in the world, from the world, that also helps. Yes.
Yeah. It's very well placed in the map. Amazing. The name of the podcast is Impact Talk.
Oh.
So if you could give one piece of advice to inspire people to make a difference, what would it be?
Okay. Well, there was, while I was doing a lot of research and before I started the company, there was this one quote that really resonated with me. It was by this guy called Robert Swan. He said that, one of the biggest issue in the world is that people believe somebody else will help, change the world or impact the world or, do something to change the climate crisis. So I felt like, why not somebody else? It should be yourself. You have to take up that responsibility. So my, advice to everybody is like, don't think about what everybody else is doing. What are you trying to do? It can be a very small thing like segregating your garbage at home. It can be something very small as switching on the lights and AC when you don't need it, when you're not in the room. It can be something small as asking for, plastic-free disposables from your restaurant. Just ask them like, why don't you, stop single-use plastic? So these small things can give a cumulative effect. We should not take light of the power that each individual has. So it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be consistent. Just keep at it. Have that in mind that our future is at stake. Climate crisis is real. UN has already mentioned, like, we've already moved on from global warming to global boiling. Yes. So we can all feel how the summer has changed. So try to keep the momentum. Try to do something at whatever power you have. Inspire people. Inspire your kids to, live minimalistic life. And I think as a whole, people will, start creating an impact, and businesses like ours can, help them to grow in a world probably that is not so much affected by climate crisis. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And stories like yours can really inspire them as well.
I hope so.
So this special podcast series is about purpose-driven entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm.
So I really want to ask you, what have you let go of to follow your purpose?
For me, I guess, being an electronics engineer, I studied electronics engineering for 6 years. I worked in electronics engineering field for over 8 years. So I obviously had to let go of my technical expertise, what I was good at, to do something more meaningful and helpful for the society. And jumping onto something that was completely new to me, I had to learn on the job and at a pace that is not really easy for maintaining a work-life balance. I had to stay ahead of time, anticipate what the society needs, what the businesses need. So it is a change that is not easy, but I guess when you really believe in the purpose that we need to take up roles in this world, in this society, that is important for whatever sustainable initiatives is needed for the environment. So yeah, that really kept me going. And of course, these consumers giving good feedback, all that is really motivating. But yes, I do have to let go of all those years of studies and work I did in that field of, and it's not that I didn't enjoy what I was doing. I really loved that. It's just that I had to let go of that to, move on to something that would be more helpful for the society. Yeah.
So close the chapter of your past life and open a new one.
Yes.
I think you have a very inspiring journey, Ranjitha. And thank you so much for sharing that with us. I'm sure it's going to inspire a lot of people. And I really wish you all the best with Back to Nature.
Thank you so much. And thank you for having me. And it's amazing chatting with you and sharing my story.
It's a real pleasure. So also a big thank you to Advanced Media Trading for hosting us in their beautiful showroom for this special series. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and share the podcast. Help us spread the word about UAE's purpose-driven entrepreneurs. And stay tuned for our next episode on Impact Talk.